actually wanted to do something a little bit interesting, I'm going to be rating all of the relics, including boss passives, in the game on how good they are and whether or not they're usable. So we have the Amulet here, which is +2/+0 and 1 less crit on the board, which honestly, it's actually like both of those things are upsides, because +2/+0 generally makes it so that for most of your orbs, you want to make sure that you're not critting, and putting 1 less crit on the board is really good. It's a really strong passive, definitely an A tier for non-Crucible. When you change what you're thinking about to Crucible though, it definitely could fit in S, just because it is really strong for S. Bad Cheese, on its own, it's definitely not the most amazing passive. However, it is absolutely required for the OTK combo. I think it's like B+, A-. It scales up really fast, which is really nice and really helps out discard comps. It's just discard comps, I don't know, you'd probably kind of prefer, yeah, B-A. It's very solid. Ring of Indignation, they did buff self-damage much more, and Ring of Indignation is such excellent AoE for the first 2 rounds. However, once you get to round 3, it really does drop down quite a bit. But the thing is, they do just have enough self-damage in the game right now, where I think you can just put Ring of Indignation in A tier. Ambidextrony, I think this is just going to be the first S tier. Being able to have 2 orb discards is so good for so many comps. It allows you to actually take the boss passive, which is -2/-2, but 1 less orb discard. It's just like really strong. It allows you to make the combo so much easier. I like it a lot. So Sever the Sling basically makes stone comps. It's like really strong. I mean, obviously you'd rather have stuff like Overflow and you'd rather actually hit the passives, but getting +1/+2 onto all of your stones is really good. It's just, I don't think the stone comp is particularly amazing, and you don't really want stones in your deck for most of your comps, so I don't think it can get past B tier really. A- maybe. Recombobulator. The thing is, Recombobulator is basically one of the required passives for bomb passives. For bomb runs. It is really strong. It could almost go in A tier. Sorry, S tier. The thing is, it's so helpful even inside of bomb comps. Being able to refresh your bombs is really strong, especially with Peg Bag or Bomb Baton, since you get more starting bombs and can constantly refresh them. I think I will just put it in A tier, just because -15 damage is a very big deal. But even as soon as you hit something like bombs detonate nearby pegs, you're actually you're rolling. Like, it's really strong even in just a damage comp. Sapasack, I think I just have to put in S tier. It is definitely one of the strongest boss passives. It works amazingly with the self-damage stuff that we've got going in this latest patch. The AoE damage is just insane. It carries you through round 1, round 2, and you definitely notice the difference in round 3. The problem is, by round 2, round 3, you definitely need healing, because it will tax your health quite a lot. Max health increases and intentional oboe are really good to try and counteract it, but on average you want 2 to 3 sources of healing. So here we have Wolves contribute to damage. It's definitely, it's not bad, but like on average it's an extra 1 to 2 hits per round. Like, I don't really want to pick up this passive ever. It's definitely not like horrendous. Maybe it's deserving of C tier, but I don't know, it really needs to be the other form for me to enjoy it much more. An apple a day, probably just C tier. It's very bland. +15 health is very helpful, but like, it's not going to save you particularly. It's going to help you out, but yeah. Basic Blade, your orbs having +1/+0. I don't know, it's a bit harder to put it higher than D tier, I think. I just don't really enjoy it. It's great from my circle comp, but it's a bit tough to pull off my circle comps. Betsy's Hedge. Now, you can actually get some interesting stuff with Betsy's Hedge, but the problem is it just focuses more on the RNG of your shots, which isn't particularly nice to do. It is technically like better than like Basic Blade and stuff, especially for most of the runs. And the problem with Betsy's Hedge is it's trying to counteract what it's trying to do, which is a problem. Now, Bomb Baton used to be one of the like strongest starting passives you could get. Basically just got you through round 1 every single time. And when you combine it with other stuff like Recombobulator or Sapasack, it's definitely like really strong. I think it's fallen off a bit more, but with the latest bomb stuff being added, I think it's definitely deserving of A tier. It's very solid. Bombulet, definitely not the same tier as Bomb Baton. Bomb Baton is just way better. Bombulet is very nice though. It adds on a lot of extra bomb passives. I think it's C- B+. Sorry. C plus, B minus. Yep. Buckler. Buckler is either, I think Buckler is just high A tier. It's single-handedly responsible for the OTK combo basically, unless you want to try the OTK combo without Buckler, but that's really rough. It's really rough. And it's just so strong. It's great against a lot of enemies that like to smack you over the course of multiple turns. Like, it can get you through the Minotaur, it can get you through the Mole, it can get you through the crossbow boss, and it's just got much better longevity compared to the Bomb Baton, especially when you compare it. Especially since it doesn't take away pegs, which is one of the downsides of Bomb Baton. Complex Claw, I'm just putting it in C tier. It's definitely better than Basic Blade, and you can tell that it's better than Basic Blade, but it's +0/+1, like, it doesn't really matter. The Chalice. So, it's definitely really good, and I think I'd definitely rather take it over, like, Ring of Indignation. I think I'll put it ahead of the Amulet, actually. +0/+4, but -1 refresh. There are now, thanks to, like, Wheel and Refresh Up, there are now lots of ways to consistently refresh your board, and +4 is a massive damage boost, actually. I think I will just put it in S tier. It's really strong. +0/+4 is a massive damage boost. Like, one of the ones in Nerf This right now, or S++, whatever you want to call it, is going to... It's very similar to Chalice. Crismolosis. Now, Crismolosis, pre-nerf, definitely needed to be nerfed, which is good because it's now nerfed. Crismolosis as it is right now, I think it's probably not better than like Sapasac or Confusing Chalice, but I think it's really strong. You can really tell how much it boosts your crit damage comps, and even non-crit damage comps. I'm more than happy to pick it up. Like, it's just really good. +2, +3 while you have negative debuffs. The problem is it's while you have negative debuffs, which Confusion 4 is only going to last for 4 turns, and Confusion is very good at slowing down the game. I really don't like this passive at all. I'd much rather take any of this stuff in C tier than any of this stuff in C tier than it. I think I'll also swap those around a bit. Decoy Orb. Now, I love Decoy Orb. It's definitely A tier for me. Definitely at least A tier. I think there is an argument for it being S tier, just because it buys you 1 turn, which buying 1 turn is pretty amazing. Yeah, no, I think it's just A tier. Dumbbell. Now, the dumbbell is actually nice. It's single-handedly responsible for the reload my circle comp, which is pretty obvious since what it does is it on reloads you get my circle. But it's very solid. It's a bit hard to run, so I think I have to put it in C tier, probably there. Now, this passive definitely did get much better when they added the Electromagnet, just because comboing them is very nice. And I did manage to get a lot of pretty good shots off with it. So I think I will put it around stuff with the sling. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Enhanced Detonation. I think it's just S tier. It adds so much extra damage. It's just so helpful. Eye of Turtle. Now, I love Eye of Turtle. I don't know how much is it actually doing for me. I think I'm going to put it in high B tier. I don't think it can really say it belongs in A tier, but it is really strong. 1 extra reload. F. It's not... Like, you're not going to complain about 1 extra reload, but they need to change it or remove it from the game or something like that. It's just... I don't want to take it. Yeah. +10 damage to plants. Just get it out of here, honestly. They need to change that. It was fine for a while in the... Sorry, no. The plants one sucked in the demo. And we're way past the demo stages. The slime one was pretty good in the demo. But yeah, no, this needs to be changed right now. All pegs have 3 durability. I think it's absolutely insane. Like, gifts to keep giving. It really is just a gift to keep giving. I wouldn't have been surprised, like, 4 patches ago if they'd started nerfing it. I think it's much weaker now. But I think it's... there's an argument for it to be stronger than Sapasac, I reckon. Glorious Suffering. Now, Glorious Suffering, it's incredibly strong. It's definitely not... you can tell that it's not as strong as these kind of passes. These kinds of passes. Which is not a surprise, obviously. Glorious Suffering, though... I think there's an argument for it to be about here. It is really strong, and you can tell the difference that it makes. Grab Your Hand. I like it a lot, but you're not going to get much use out of it. I'd put it... probably here. Haglin Satchel. I don't really enjoy Haglin Satchel that much. I've seen some good results out of it, though. I'd be happy to put it first in C tier. Cookie. I think Cookie is just straight S. It's basically just one of the best healing passives in the game. Yeah, above Crits Molosis. Yep. Crits also refresh. This is also just straight S, I think. This passive is just so absolutely insane. Because now your refreshes are both going to move, and you're going to have 2 extra refreshes on the board. Which refreshes are basically how you're going to get your damage. And it turns your crits into a want hit to a really want hit. Which is really good. It's kind of funny. Recombobulator is an A tier, but I actually think the Alchemist's Cookbook is much lower. The thing is, the minus 15 damage, you really feel the difference with the Alchemist's Cookbook. I think I'm going to put it much lower, because you really don't want to pick it up when you're playing a damage comp. And when you're playing a bomb comp, cutting a damage by 15 can sometimes be really tough, especially with the nerf to the reactant. Your bombs have +10 damage. Yeah, it's a bit bland. You know what, I'm going to move this down a bunch more. I'll just chuck it in C tier. You know what, I think I'll just move Confused Mask down. I don't really like it being there. Your bouncers contribute to damage. It's definitely better than your wolves contribute to damage. But like, it's going to give me an extra... It's like an extra 1.8 hits per round. It's really not interesting. I might just have to change this. Let's change this to S++. For just the insanely strong passives that are just going to kind of carry you. Yes. And then Infernal Ingot. Infernal Ingot is incredibly strong. Yeah, I think it's strong enough to go in S++. The thing is, you can then pick up max health increases after you've halved your max HP, but it's just so much healing and it works so well with so many comps. Safety Net is absolutely busted. For getting an extra 5 hits every single shot is so amazing. It's honestly so hard to say how strong it is. Echo 10 added onto every orb. It's definitely very nice. I don't think it goes higher than B tier though. Low B tier though. It's very nice since you get to carry over a lot of your damage, but I don't think it's particularly strong. Intentional Oboe though, I think it's definitely A tier. The thing is, there's so much self damage in the game now. The Intentional Oboe, you really notice the difference it makes, and it's just really good. Kinetic Meteorite, I've definitely enjoyed it a lot more recently. Yeah, I think it's just B tier though. It messes up your shots. Yeah, no, I just don't. I really don't like Kinetic Meteorite too much. Maybe I'm being a bit mean. Here you go. You can go there. Every shot fired below 30% is a crit. This is a change. Please change this passive. I'll just change this to a please change this passive. Please buff. Which honestly, the stuff in D tier needs to be buffed, but this stuff is just so urgent. I've barely ever gotten a guaranteed crit from this. It's just miserable, honestly. Refresh also grants crits. It's definitely... Yeah. I think I'd put it just above Recombobulator. It's really strong, but you can tell that it's the worst out of the 2 potions. 2 extra crits on the board. So funnily enough, this is also 2 extra crits on the board, but I think I will rate it just ever so slightly higher than Refresh also crit. Just because having extra crits on the board really helps out a lot of... well, crits are the meta for a reason right now. And between crits and Molosis and short stack, it's just absolutely... it just feels a bit better. Manchuska Shell... I think it's S, definitely. Yeah, let's put it around here. Better than Ambidextrous. It's so strong being able to double the damage output of some of your orbs, and as long as you don't have orbs that have at least 1 or 2 damage, you're fine, and it's going to be really strong. Mental Mantle, an extra 0.5 damage every shot, basically. Pinging damage as well, which makes it slightly higher. It's like on average like 0.6 damage every shot, just because pinging is a bit more valuable. It's really not amazing. I was recently sold on a Manchuska comp though. It managed to get a ton of damage when combined with Infernal Ingot, and I think I can put it C tier, I reckon. It's not amazing. Monster Training, yeah, no. It's nice when you can get double damage. That is very nice, but it just doesn't proc enough. It's definitely not. No, let's move it down a bit. I would not complain if they removed it or buffed it or combined both of these two. Overwhelmer, I think it's the definition of S+. I don't think Overwhelmer 100% is a great passive. Absolutely amazing. I think that all orbs need to have some level of overflow though. Like 30%, 25%. I don't really care. Just make sure. It's not fun that some of your damage comps are just totally reliant on Overwhelmer. Peg Bag is definitely very solid. It's nowhere near as good as... maybe not nowhere near as good. It's definitely the same category. No, it's A tier. It's really strong. I'll move it down a bit. Glorious Suffering, yeah. Alright, I like that. Short Stack, yeah. Short Stack needs to be nerfed. I really just don't like it. My previous proposal was excluding the first crit, you get -1/+1, and then for every crit after the first, you get for every 2 crits after the first, you get -1/+1, which I like a lot. It makes the high roll much slower, and it just tunes down the damage a bit because it's just way too easy to hit crits, and it's way too high damage increase to beat crits. Like, this is a really strong passive, but it's just not even close compared to Short Stack. Like, half the reason why this is now a good passive is just because of Short Stack. Perfected Reactant. Unnerfed, I'd say it was probably A tier. Now that it's nerfed, I don't see it really going higher than B. Like, it's nice, I'm not going to complain, but there's other stuff I'd rather have. 15 blind to an enemy. I think I'll put it... It's around about here. A bit before Apple a Day, but it's really not amazing. Stopwatch I'm going to put down there just because I really hate the sound that it makes. It's so annoying. Popping Corn, it's an absolutely amazing healing passive. I think I'm going to put it in A tier. It's just really solid healing. Not as good as Cookie, obviously, which is why Cookie's in S tier, but it's really good. Powder Collector, it's very strong. It's definitely very strong. No doubt about that. 1 every 30, you can definitely tell it's not as good. I'd say it's a tiny bit... It's definitely down here with the bomb passives. Power Glove, I mean, it's definitely S tier. I think I'm just putting it in S tier straight up. +1/+1 is just so important, like, especially hitting a Power Glove early on, and then being able to stack multipliers on top of that is just so good. Puppet, I really want Puppet to be buffed. Yeah, no, I think Puppet just goes there to be buffed. There are too many enemies that are just going to ping you, and then Puppet's basically just useless from that point on. It's definitely like Apple a Day. Apple a Day, yeah. Yeah, it's just not nice. They need to unnerf this, frankly. The healing that it provides is almost insubstantial, especially when you consider that you want a small deck. So increasing your healing by, 6% is barely going to do anything. Especially when you combine it with, like, Infernal Ingot halving your HP. Like, it's not going to be noticed. Refiller Buster. It's actually honestly very solid. Yeah, I think we'll put it around about here. It's really great for refresh comps, being able to have a good pinging damage, and it does actually have good pinging damage. It's just not really what you want to build for anymore. You don't really ever say, oh, I want Refiller Buster now, because at that point you don't really need it anymore. Refresh Shield, it's pretty nice. I think it's, I'll say slightly stronger than Refiller Buster. Being able to refresh on every reload is honestly just very good. Yeah, no, it's just honestly just very good. Refreshing Punch, yeah, it's up here within Heart's Damnation. They're both just absolutely insane for damage comps. They easily hard carry you. Refreshive, it's definitely high A tier. I don't think it's quite S tier, but being able to have high damage, shoot your shot, kill an enemy, and then just have the board reload so that you can shoot your next shot, deal high damage, and kill an enemy, and just combo it is just really, really nice. Unfortunately, having your orbs having Persist 1 isn't actually that good of an effect. More times than not, it's actually going to negatively impact your run, which is why I have to put in D. I have had some runs earlier on though, where it was just really nice being able to get +1 persist, so that I didn't have to reload, because reloading can sometimes be a downside. Yeah, I know, crazy to say. Yeah, I know. This is right there. I'll put it above, just because it's obviously better, but I just don't like it. +10 damage is just not enough. Attacks applying Blind 4 to enemy. I'm not entirely sure why they nerfed it. Blind 4, it's definitely not better than Mental Man. It's not enough to really notice, and I haven't really run a blind comp yet, so I can't tell how good it is, but I just don't like it at all. -2, -2, sorry, +2, and -1 all discard. I'm going to put in B tier. I don't think it can go higher than where it is. I think it's B- C+, just because it's good when you can combo it with ambidextrary, but when you can't, it's very tough to say, oh, I can just take -1 orb discard, because orb discarding is so strong. Short fuse, I think it's solid, but I don't think there are times where I really wanted a tool. Yeah, no. Balance. Balance is actually really nice. It's up where bad cheese is, just because I'd say it's better than bad cheese, just because it's kind of a better win condition than bad cheese is. Bad cheese is needed for the OTK, yes, but balanced you can kind of scrap together your own OTK, which is generally going to be, well, you don't run into the same weakness that the OTK has, where you just lose against the phase 2 boss. Bomb supply blind 1 to enemies. If blind was how it was previously, then this would be nice, but the problem is your bombs are just going to kill them before the blind actually starts mattering. So I think I've really just got to put it down in buff. Just because I think if it was 2%, I think we could have a conversation. One extra crit in the board, I'm just going to put it here with Bandana. I just don't think it's interesting enough to be a passive, and frankly, same with my circle. I know I put the basic blade a bit higher, but frankly, these two both need to change, and they definitely both shouldn't be on the game. Special pegs contribute to damage. As much as I talk down on these kind of passives, I actually do like this quite a bit. I think it deserves low C tier, high D tier. Misnavigation. Now, it used to be absolutely pathetic, I think, but now that you can actually take Poker Chip, which is on average should give you more damage, I think it is actually low C tier. Yeah. I think that this needs to be changed 100%. I just don't know what to say. Your refresh actually moving is generally actually just not a good thing. Like, you want to be able to set up your refresh shots so that you can time them when you need, but having them move is just really detrimental. The cake, I presume the cake is just S tier. Having plus 50 health is a massive number. Like, it really allows you to run so much stuff. I think it's just S++. I don't actually know how to get it, but having plus 50 health is just so good. Unicorn Horn, I like it a lot. I think I'm putting it in B tier. It's kind of like the definition of, like, it's not really going to do much, but you're going to enjoy it a lot, which is I like. Plus 25 max HP. Yeah, it's very solid. Definitely B tier, I reckon. It's just going to buy you a lot of time, which is important. You need time to win. One of Scarlet on Power. I think I just want to put an S tier, especially with the new changes to self-damage. Being able to deal double damage at what is a pretty small cost when you have enough healing in your deck is just really strong. Yes, it's like Sapasac. Like, these two could very easily be swapped. In fact, Sapasac could probably go up a hit. The thing is, once you hit your self-damage passives and healing and stuff, these two passives just become absolutely insane. Weaponized Envy, I think, is responsible for a bit of lag. It's definitely not bad pinging damage, but the thing is, you need to take damage, you then need to heal, and then your ping might not even be useful at that point, so it's definitely not amazing. Weighted Chip, I think it's just bottom of D tier. Like, thanks to Peg, you really need both of these two to have either of them make an impact, and then it's honestly quite a nice combo. Like, I wouldn't complain. Word on Stake, heal 6 every reload. It's definitely helpful, but I don't think I can, like, put it higher than Mental Mantle. It's just not a very good starting passive, but it is a very solid healing passive once you can get some reloading going. But getting reloading going can be a bit tough. Pumpkin Pie, I like it a lot, but I'm not sure how good it is. I think it deserves B tier at least. Being able to get 1 of every 5 shots have double effect, or sometimes even triple effect, is honestly very solid, and sometimes I've hit all 3 and made it disappear. It's also really nice for Jack-O-Lantern, so yeah, I like it a lot.